Hi, I'm Ryan, and I created Nyched, the world's first human interaction platform. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about whether the company will go public or if the code will be open source. And though I think there's benefits to both of those, I think it adds a lot of complexity at this point, and it's something that I wanted to talk about. Because of those complexities, I'm looking to find a middle ground that gives you more of a say and allows you to have the confidence in Nyched that you probably don't have in a lot of other platforms that are out there. The most important reason for Nyched maintaining control over its code base and being a private company is so that the vision of Nyched can stay intact. The biggest thing that happens in either of those situations, and it's from two different types of perspectives, but the biggest thing that happens is other people get a say. Again, the only people that I want to have a say are you, my customers and my users, and I want to take fierce control over the vision of Nyched. Nyched can't turn into a social media platform. If that were to happen, it would just be the same as anything else out there, and there'd be nothing unique about it really, except for things being organized into interests. Another potential complication would be exploitation by different types of groups or people. If you have a public company, obviously there can be takeovers, and that kind of takes away from the vision of what Nyched is. It allows for other people to make decisions where I want to put you, my customer, in control of holding me accountable. Not people who've invested into it because it's a publicly traded type of company or a company that is out there for anybody to invest into. Could you make more money that way? Yeah, you could, but my focus in creating Nyched was not primarily to make money. It was to provide an environment where you are in control. Similarly, with open source projects, you can have people take control because they can just take the code, they do what's called forking it, where they split it off into its own platform, and then people can take that and have a different vision for Nyched. My hope is to keep it consistent. My hope is to keep similarities between different niches in your experience so that you can ultimately decide how your online environment is shaped. Privacy is a big concern of mine. I want you to have the confidence that you can share things about topics without the fear of your information getting leaked. And unfortunately, with open source projects, that means there's third parties involved and people who find exploits. When the code is just out there to be seen by all, people will find issues with the code. And because it's open source, it means those things will probably not get fixed very quickly. And in terms of publicly traded companies, the biggest way they make money is by taking your personal data and your information and selling that. You know, it might not be Joe Smith in the middle of Boise, Idaho or something like that, but they do take different trends and patterns and whatnot so that advertisers and other entities can take that big data and utilize it. I don't believe in that. I want you to be my customer. I want you to be the primary source of where I'm getting changes and ideas from. Because my goal is to keep Nyched privately owned, it gives me a great deal of flexibility to respond to what the market and what the customers, you, the user, desire and want. It gives me the ability to be innovative instead of being in a position where I have to listen to shareholders or I have to listen to the community that's developing the open source software. Doing it in-house gives me the ability to keep you the focus of the app, to keep you at the center so you have the best user experience. User experience is so important to Nyched. It's one of the primary reasons why I even went down this path of creating a platform that's different from social media. It's why I created a human interaction platform with the human at the center of the focus, instead of the technology and the algorithms there. So by staying private, I don't have to listen to the whims of people who've thrown money at the company or people who have developed an offshoot of something. I can listen to you and take your input and make decisions that are best for the people who are using Nyched. This video is sponsored by Nyched. Nyched did something revolutionary. It took everything that people don't like about social media and it removed it. Things like algorithms and gatekeepers. Things like doom scrolling and not getting in touch with what you're truly passionate about and that dopamine trickle that we get after hours of being online. The hope is to connect you more quickly with your passions and your interests. Nyched is a revolutionary platform. No one has ever done what Nyched is doing before. To learn more and to support Nyched, go to resistthealgorithm.com. If you can't support Nyched at this time, I totally understand that. I wouldn't ask you to. But keep doing what you're doing. Keep watching these videos, keep sharing and commenting, and being a part of this community. That's what Nyched is all about. Thank you for your views. Thank you for your time. I hope to see you again soon. By keeping Nyched private, I hope to avoid disagreements on the direction of Nyched. When you have an open source piece of software or a publicly traded company, you have other people giving input. Oftentimes, these people don't have any interest necessarily in the product that's being developed. Again, I want to keep you at the center. I want to keep you my customer. So the thing I want to keep tight control over is the vision of Nyched, why we started in the first place. If Nyched just becomes a social platform, just like everything else that's out there, it defeats the whole purpose of why I started down this path, why I created it in the first place. I want you to have autonomy. I want you to be in control, and I want to make you my customer. I want to earn your business. Even though it's not my primary focus, I did start Nyched to be a business. So by staying private as well, it allows me to create a sustainable business model that isn't so heavily reliant on advertising revenue. Again, one of the biggest problems with social media is that we are not their customers. We are their products. Our eyeballs are their products. So we are the thing being sold on a social media platform. On Nyched and other human interaction platforms, I hope to sell the platform as the product and have you be the customer. What that means is the business model is shaped around me being accountable to you and what you are looking for. The same as any brick and mortar or mom and pop shop that's down the road from you is accountable to you as the customer. So part of staying private is being able to have you be accountable. As soon as I open it up to investors, I have to be accountable. I have a split focus. I have to be accountable to the investors and the shareholders, and I also have to be accountable to you. I personally believe it's a better way to go where I'm accountable to my customers and we're able to make decisions for the company to be better and the product to continue to stay the platform instead of the product becoming you. There are many potential pitfalls with both open source software and with publicly traded companies, and I'm hoping to avoid some of those. Now, the biggest reason is because Nyched has a unique ideology. It's different than anything else that's ever been out there. So I think we need to take a different approach if we want to maintain control of our online environment. If you've ever used any open source software, I'm sure you've ran into the problem of having a lack of vision, because there's a lot of different people who have day jobs who are working on the software. And it usually takes a lot of time. There aren't updates and new innovations to it as quickly as there are with paid software. The other side of it too is risk and vulnerability. Oftentimes security updates don't happen as quickly as they need to. Anyone can take the code and go and create their own site, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a platform where you're supposed to be interacting with people. Again, my goal is to get you offline, not have 800 different versions of the app and no cohesive data. So everybody's using a different thing where you can't connect online. With being a public company, there's increased regulations and scrutiny from governmental bodies, as well as you have to be accountable to your shareholders instead of your customers. So profit gets elevated over purpose and mission. Both of these things put external influence onto the company that is public. They have to listen to these different entities and different individuals. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it reduces the quality and the agility of the company to be able to innovate and be creative. My goal is to get you interacting with your passions as quickly as possible, so you can then go offline and do your passions. Instead of just being a consumer, I want you to be a doer. These potential pitfalls are what I think requires a hybrid solution. Something where I create an environment where you can be a customer so that I am accountable to you, and ultimately you have a say. So Nyched is different, and we have to take a different approach to this type of platform if we want to have a different type of environment online. Generally speaking, keeping the company private and keeping the code base private as well gives me the ability to be flexible, gives me the ability to be accountable to you, my customers. And it puts us in a position where we can truly have a unique experience online. That's part of the unique ideology of Nyched, to put the user at the center of the platform. It's something that no one has ever done before. It's something revolutionary. And it's something that a community is beginning to grow around, and more people just like yourself are starting to join in the conversation. Nyched is the world's first human interaction platform, and it is totally within your control. To learn more, go to resistthealgorithm.com. If you like this video, give it a like. If you have something to say about this topic or an opinion or a thought, I want to hear from you. That's the whole point of Nyched, so leave a comment down below. And if you liked what you saw and you want to see more, stay tuned, because the next video is coming up right now.